Think we got another one.
Come on.
Sing it.
Thought you should know that I will never ever go away.
So you'll never have to worry.
As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky.
You'll never have to worry.
Though it may seem today that I'm so far away from you, you never have to fall, 'cause I'm right here before you call my name. And I'll come running to heal you, feel you, take you by the hand, and I'll show you the way to where I am. Thought you should know that I would never ever go away.
You'll never have to worry.
As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky.
Never have to worry.
Forget your yesterdays, for when this night to brand new day gives way. Your life, your breath renewed, a ray of sun reminds you it's okay. You'll never be alone if you feel me, hear me, take me into your heart, and we'll never ever have to part. Thought you should know that I would never ever go away.
Never have to worry.
As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky.
Never have to worry. Never have to worry about a thing. Don't have to worry. You will never have to worry about a thing. Don't have to worry about a thing.
Thought you should know that I would never ever go.
So you'll never have to worry.
As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky. Oh yeah. Don't worry. Said I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
So you'll never have to worry.
Consider the lilies, how they grow. Whatever you need, your Father knows. Oh, come on, let me say.
Oh, you'll never. Don't you know you never have to worry? I will always be there. Oh yeah, said you will never have to worry. You will never have to worry. Oh, yes.
Just between you and me, this is nice. There's no tricks. Ooh, this love is just between you and me. This is not. Ooh, there's no tricks. This love is. Just what do I have to do to let you know? Should I make your flowers grow? Should I make it rain or snow? Yeah. So many things I've done just for you. Forest green and ocean blue. Just to show my love is true. Just between you and me. This is not. There's no tricks. This love is so real. Just between. This is not. There's no tricks. This love love is so real, yeah.
Don't you know I taught the birds to fly, hung the stars up in the sky? Can you guess the reason why? Can you take more than a passing glance? Nothing is by happenstance, yet you think it's just by chance. Just between you and me. This is not no trick. This love is so real. Between you and me. This is not, there's no tricks. This love is so real. Oceans deep, river wide, valley low and mountain high. All creation testifies of my love. Summer breeze and winter snow. All this is not.
What's up? Listen, the show
Always something.
the show
Always
would not be
something.
a show if we didn't have something where the button was pressed wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Or I'm talking all in the mic. right?
Exactly. I don't know if it actually came through now that I think about it.
Okay.
What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody.
How y'all doing?
Hope you guys are doing well tonight.
Yeah.
We're excited.
We are excited.
Yes.
So I don't know if you know this, but we already hit a milestone with our podcast where we hit
Yes.
100. You know that already. That was a couple of weeks ago. And actually, we haven't done a new podcast since then. But anyway, we also hit another milestone this month. It turns out it was a year ago in October that we started doing lives.
I cannot believe this.
What I can't believe about it is there was no way you could have convinced us in even September of
No.
last year,
No.
August,
No.
whatever, like
No.
that we would even be able to do that.
No way was I about to be doing a live.
April literally, I
mean,
wouldn't say she was
fought-
terrified, but she was
No,
like,
I fought against it. I was like, no. I need to be able to edit.
right. That's the thing. It's being out there. You feel kind of
Vulnerable.
yes. I wanted to say naked, but
Same,
but
you know,
same kind of thing.
kind of thing.
You're
Yeah,
just
really
out there.
And I'm like, I might say the wrong thing.
Right.
And I might mess up.
Right.
But, I mean, this has really helped me to realize messing up is not really that bad.
It's really not that big of a deal.
really not that
It's really
deep,
not.
you
And we
know?
mess up every week.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's not usually you. It's usually me pressing some button. You know what I'm saying? It's not that deep.
No, no, I'm really glad. I can't believe it's a year. It doesn't feel like it, which is what's crazy.
Right. That is
It does
crazy.
not feel like it has been a year.
No.
And we've had some great episodes.
I think we have.
We've had some great lives. First of all, because
have really great
the
guests.
chimes are amazing.
Chimes are amazing. And I'm
Yes,
glad
we've
we
had some
actually have a
great
name for them
guests.
now.
I
Because at
know.
first we didn't know what to call y'all.
We didn't know what to call y'all.
The chimes are amazing. You guys are great. We love coming on here and being
Yes.
with you guys. Y'all being in the
Yes.
comments and all of that. The guests we've had over the time have been pretty great too.
They have been pretty great.
They have.
Especially, I think, our OG couple goals.
Yes. That's
Episodes.
yes.
Our OG couple is so good.
Yes.
And everybody wants, every time we have them on, everybody's like, please do a part 2. Please
Right.
do a part 3.
Exactly.
Please do a part
Right.
4.
Right.
Whatever,
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
So,
So that's what we're going to do tonight. Tonight, we're actually, instead of having mom and dad on tonight, we couldn't get them for tonight. We will actually watch one of our first times that we ever had them on the show.
Yes.
Now, some of you are new chimes, so you probably never saw this. Others of you have seen it before, but it's worth another look.
it is.
And even though we're watching that, we're going to watch it together with you. We're going to stay in the comments and stuff like that live.
So we'll be live in the comments.
Exactly.
So still put them in, guys.
Exactly.
We want to hear what you have to say, and we will
Exactly.
be responding.
Exactly.
So it's good, and we hope you enjoy it.
All right.
All right, guys.
See y'all in a second.
Bye.
Interview. Tonight, our topic tonight is really OG relationship goals.
Yes.
And the couple that we have on tonight has been married almost 45 years.
And they are definitely an OG couple.
No question. And by the
The
way,
OG couple.
just so you know what we mean, those of you that are on here who use the term OG, you know what it means, original gangster. But the idea is that you are not necessarily old school, like out of touch. You are like, we're looking to you as like one of the ones who's been doing it right for a long
The
time.
Original
You
gangster.
know what I'm saying?
You the one.
Exactly.
Like you
You
the
know
one
what
we
I'm
look at.
So
Look
that's
to.
that's what
right.
that's what we're talking about
right.
tonight.
Yes.
So that's what we got. Tonight we have a couple that I have known. I'm trying to think. I guess not quite my whole life. They've known me my whole life. At the beginning of my life, I didn't know anything because I was so little. but it's my parents.
They are OG
John and
couple
Giovanna
goals.
Nixon.
OG couple right here. The OG.
So first of all, Mom and Dad, can we do a quick sound check? Just tell us hi and where you're from and where you live and how long you've been married, so we make sure we can actually hear you.
You know, the fact of the matter is that babies are aware of others before they're aware of themselves. So.
Oh, so you're saying I knew you before I even knew me?
Comes later.
I didn't know that. Well, thank you for telling me that.
So Horace said
So
y'all.
when-
Horace said y'all are thugs. By the way, he's asking. They thugs? Yeah, they thugs.
Okay, so
We're not intimidated by it.
say
We
it again,
embrace
Dad.
that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Say it again.
No, we embrace that. We thought we're okay with that.
You okay with being
Good,
thugs?
good,
Okay.
good.
Okay, well, let's start just by letting you introduce yourselves to the audience. Tell us how long you've been married. Well, tell us your names, first of all. I got you all on the thing, but Mom, people are not going to be able to read that, so you need to tell them how to pronounce your name. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, tell us how long you dated.
We want to know
Okay.
that, too. Yes, how long did you date before you got married?
And how old were you when you got married?
Yes, we know all that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm John, and my wife is Giovanna, and the name is not phonetic, obviously, but I tell people that when I learned how to spell it, that's when she knew I was serious about the relationship.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
That's Giovanna. It's a Native American name, and so phonetically it doesn't make any sense. And you can imagine, all through her life, all through school, she's been called just a multitude of names as teachers try to figure that out. The most interesting was what they call you?
I had a teacher in
High
second
school,
grade
Oh, second grade.
who insisted on calling me Divine.
Divine with a D?
Divine. And I would say, you know, every time she came to my name, I knew because she was trying to pronounce it once again. And I would say, my name is Giovanna. And I would say, Giovanna. And she would say, okay, Divine. And I was like, and the children, even the children in the class would be like, something's wrong with the teacher's hearing, you know,
Clearly.
not say divine.
I
you know.
wonder if it was just her hearing.
I don't know.
Maybe so.
She may
Or
have
maybe
some
she
other
really
deficiencies,
thought,
too.
maybe she thought I was divine. That's what I've chosen to
I don't
believe
think
all
so.
these years.
That can't be.
That's not it, Mom.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, so how long y'all been married, and how long did you date before you got married?
So our dating life had a start and stop to it.
Mm-hmm,
You know, we probably started dating at what, 17 maybe,
mm-hmm.
and then we had a
Seriously, at
breakup.
17.
Yeah, then we had a breakup, and then wait a minute, because we got rebaptized at 18.
Right.
So our dating got serious at 18,
Okay.
and we broke up and got back together again when I was 20, and we got married when I was 22. Giovanna was 21.
Mm-hmm.
So we started early, and both families knew each other because two of her brothers and my brother and I sang in a quartet together. So we would go to the house and have rehearsal and all the time. So the families knew each other all along before we even started dating. So we known each other a long time.
But I met him when I was 12.
Why are you trying to steal our story all the time? You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, but he's been sprung since he was sprung. I didn't really, he was like, man, and you know.
I don't know about all that.
So I need a little more detail about this breakup here.
So
okay?
hold on, dude. That's interesting though, because I feel like before we talk about the breakup, I feel like we need to establish, you know, why it is that you guys are OG couple goals. Because you didn't tell us how long you've been married yet. I said it, but I might be wrong. How long have you been married?
It's 44 years.
44.
It'll be 45
44.
in August, right?
August will be 45. Yeah.
Okay. And what I want to know is, during your marriage, over these 45 years, basically, have you found that it was pretty easy? Was it hard at the beginning and it got easier? Are there certain things that never got easier and you're still dealing with? Like, give us some of that so we can glean some, you know,
You wanna go into
serious.
that right now?
Yes.
Well, we
All
still
of
want
the
to know
above.
about the breakup.
What I'm saying, but look, I want to establish first that they were a couple worth listening to.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry.
then we can say
All
later
right,
on
don't get
that
too
you broke
detailed
up.
on this. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm getting excited.
Well, I think Giovanna agreed with me. The easy hard thing is relative. It depends on what we were going through at the time. Because we've had some easy times and we've had some hard times. But let me just say this. In the hardest of times, and I don't think Javon's the same way, never considered breaking up, even in the hardest of times. I never thought about breaking up. I don't mean divorcing, I mean even separating.
Oh, wow.
It never came to that. But we had our hard times. We've had marital counseling a few times. We've had to do that a few times. And so we've had our hard times. We've had easy times as well, but things just sailing along, having a good time every day. So, there's ups and downs like anything else.
I never knew about the counseling thing. I want to
You didn't?
No, I want to push that. I want to push that a
How
little
did I
bit.
know about that and you didn't?
Because mom talks to you. You know what I'm saying?
We did marital counseling while you were still living with us. We did marital counseling
Exactly.
before.
Oh, what?
We did marital counseling in California. How old were you in California? 10, 12?
Yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. I did, but I wouldn't have known. Yeah, I mean, the counselor didn't come to the house. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. How would I know that then? You didn't come back saying, "Hey guys, we're back from counseling." So here's the question though: did it get? Most people feel a certain way about counseling. They feel like,
Especially black men.
no question.
Yeah.
You know.
So did it? Was it like, it was that bad? You had to go to counseling, or why'd you guys do that?
And was it hard to get Dad to
agree
go,
to do
to
it?
agree to do
Right.
it? You know.
It was. I did have to talk him into it, and initially, he was no, we don't need that. We do counseling for married couples ourselves. So what are we doing? Let's practice some of the things that we teach. But oftentimes, if you think about it, you go to a beautician and their hair looks horrible. You go to a,
Yes.
right.
That's a good point. In fact, the best barber is the one with the worst haircut, usually.
So most times the professional, they're the ones that's neglecting the very thing that they're teaching. So I talked them into it. It didn't take me long to talk them into it, but I talked them into it. And once we got started, I mean, it was really liberating for me. And I think for Dad too. Was it?
Now, hold on. Let's get. Someone just asked in the comments, was counseling popular at that time period? And I didn't think it was. We're talking about the late '80s here, right?
Into the
Early
90s.
90s.
89, 90, 91, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, not on black people. It wasn't popular, and I think conservative Christian blacks that much less popular because conservative Christians think if I go to counseling, my faith is weak, and I'm not a real Christian. So among our particular group, even less popular. But the other thing about it with me has always been finding a counselor that I really think is doing us any good. I guess I'm hard on counselors.
Yes.
I saw your face, Mom.
It's very hard for Dad. And so, when we finally found this person, he was so amazing that, we didn't have to, how many times did we go? 3?
Yeah,
Two?
we didn't go that often. Yeah.
2 times, maybe 3 times?
That fixed whatever issue you guys were having at that time.
Yeah. And one of the things, can I tell him what the things he told me?
Sure.
Yeah. One of the things the counselor told me was, why don't you fight him back?
Wow.
Really?
Yes, he did. He said, why do you give up?
He said you're like a little girl. He said you're like a little girl.
What? And so did you like that, Dad? Did you like that he said that?
Right.
Yes, he did.
Well, first of all, I never thought she was like a little girl. He didn't know her like I knew it.
Right.
But hey, I can take a good fight. I'm fine as long as it's fair fighting. I like fighting if it's a fair fight.
He loves fighting.
No, if it's a fair fight.
That's true.
Yeah, he rolled that over to this one over here.
When it's a fair fight, you're not trying to beat down your opponent. It's a fair fight. You're trying to get your quarter out there. They're trying to get theirs out there.
Right.
Let's hear what you're really thinking. Let's put on out there. And then, at the end, we'll figure out where we need to make adjustments or whatever.
So
But
sorry, go ahead. Bro. What do you say, Mom? What do you say?
I said, I learned from that counselor. He said, you need to fight. And I said, okay.
I always grew up feeling like you gave as good as you got. I never thought I would have never described it that way I thought so. Maybe not.
You're right. You're right. Now, you know, honestly, the time when mom was kind of a, you know, take a blow and don't get one back was before you were born. When we first got married, those first couple of years, she was very timid, very shy. She was very unsure of herself.
We don't know.
Her
We don't know
self-
that
We don't know that
mom.
mom.
We don't know
I
that
never
one.
met that woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who
We
you're
don't know
talking
who
about.
she is.
No, you don't know
You
that.
don't know
Mom.
that person.
Listen, when I was in early school, like kindergarten, the teacher had to, you know, pull teeth to get me to talk. I would not talk. And I was very shy up until I married Dad. Really, I didn't say much.
Wow.
You know, I would. My brothers and sisters would have to do a whole lot to get me to even get up and sing with them. You know, I was very, very shy. So, I think I've grown out of that a little bit.
Yes,
I do too.
I think so. So I have to pivot back
Go
to
ahead.
because a lot of people want to know how did you when you were dating go through a breakup and then get back together like
Right.
that. You don't hear that really often that people break up and then they get back. I mean, you do, but it's like off and on, and then they break up for good.
And I think you always assume a couple that's been married 45 years, they never broke up. They never had any problems.
Exactly.
But
You're thinking they never broke up.
yeah. So you gotta tell us
No,
more.
what-
You brought it up, so you have to share it now. You done told everybody.
Well, let me say this before you talk. We liked each other for a while
Sorry.
before we turned 18. Before we turned 18, it was never, really a couple. We liked each other. But when I turned 18, Joanna was 17. In fact, on the day of my 18th birthday, we both got rebaptized. We had our adult conversion. And on my 18th birthday, that day, we got baptized in the same evangelistic meeting.
Wow.
Oh.
I didn't know it
That
was your birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the day we started getting serious because then, we're on a path now where we're thinking about, let's get serious about our lives. And now let's stop dating around. Let's be with somebody that's for real. So that's when our relationship got serious.
Then he decided to go into the ministry. So I said, I was always laughing and making jokes, always laughing at times when I shouldn't be laughing, things like that.
Yeah.
So one day I'm laughing with him and I said, I think we should break up. You're going into the ministry and, things are, I'm not really there yet all the way Christian. I'm a Christian, but,
I didn't say all that,
but anyway, so.
you didn't explain like that because you were fooling around.
I was fooling around. I was kidding.
Hmm.
And he said, I think you're right.
Oh.
And I was like, I was only kidding. And he said, no, you're right. And he left my house that night and I was bawling,
Wow.
crying. I was probably 18,
No, maybe 19.
19,
Because I was about to go.
maybe.
real quick.
I don't know. But we
So
were
you thought
young.
that was a
and-
lob from the Holy Spirit, and you're just like, let me just go ahead and yam this joint. That was you. Oh,
But
okay,
he took me
yeah. break
seriously
up.
and we broke up.
But that was you just joking around like you normally do.
Right.
Oh.
But I had been thinking about it before then. I'd actually been praying about it because what was happening with us is, in our relationship is, we're getting closer and closer. We're really falling in love. And what happened is our relationship started to get a little physical.
Mm.
It never got physical all the way, but we started getting a little too touchy and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going home every night feeling guilty. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to the ministry. I can't be going to ministry like this. So I'm really thinking about breaking up. I really am. Before I go to school, I'm going to think about breaking up.
You should
No,
see the
actually-
emojis.
Yeah.
You should see-
Look at the screen, Dad. Look at the screen. Look at the emojis people are putting up there. Camilla said earlier, shy? I would have never thought that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of that kind of stuff happening. Anyway.
Very
but,
shy.
But let me talk about that for a moment because I don't want to, and I want to be real with your audience. We're not intimidated anymore. We've been married 44 years. We're not intimidated by anything anymore. But you know something? When you're single and in love, you're going to have your moments. Now, if you're trying to have a relationship with integrity, you're trying to say, let's not get intimate till we get married. You put that in your head. You agree to that. it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to live up to it. You are struggling.
Right.
You're having a hard time. You're struggling.
Yeah.
You
In
know?
fact, we teach our couples today, if one of you is not interested in the other person sexually, you need to
You shouldn't be
rethink
getting
that.
married. You shouldn't
Right.
be getting married.
Yeah, I agree. Seriously.
Your fiance didn't want no sex.
Right.
You think
Exactly.
again.
It should be hard. to
That should be all. The,
Right.
it
If
should
it's
be
not difficult, you might need to rethink
yeah,
that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
People are agreeing with you, by the way, wholeheartedly. So the question is, what got you back together? And
Right.
did you pray about that too?
And Mom, did you want to get back together? Like after
After he
you
done
know, he
dumped you.
broke up with you,
Right.
You know, because he kind of broke
Are
up
you
with
kidding
you.
me?
If you think
Excuse
about it.
me. But first of all, we were really madly in love from early on. I once we started liking each other, we fell in love for real.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what happened. When I saw this man right here from afar, I don't know if you've ever been, well, of course you've been to Oakwood. When he was walking from Edwards Hall to Carter Hall, and I saw him out of the back window, I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, he's coming towards Carter Hall. What is he coming to Carter Hall to do? He's not coming to see me because I'm not his girlfriend.
Oh.
I went crazy.
So you're trying to figure out which girls he coming to see.
Exactly. I said, I can't take it if he comes to Carter and he pages another girl.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do? I ran. I had an anxiety attack. I ran to the married students' apartments to where my brother and his wife were living. And I told him, I said, I just saw John and I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to see him. I don't know if he's going to reject me, if he's going to say hi, what's going to happen. My brother said, are you going to run from John all semester? And he said, you go right back. So by the time he reached Carter Hall, I was back.
Hold on. You ran while Dad's walking and you could see him. You ran to the married to the apartments and came back before he got back.
Y'all know how Oakwood is set up. That's some serious running. That's some love right there.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not joking. And Dad will agree with this. When we finally, we hadn't seen each other for, I would think about 2 months maybe. We hadn't seen each other all summer or whatever.
At least 3 months, yeah.
When we saw each other, I'm not kidding. You really could see electricity going from one of us to the next.
Wow.
Wow.
It was like
I
my
believe
hair was
that.
standing up with the electrical.
Oh,
And
my
he
goodness.
said something to me. Oh my goodness. He actually came to see me.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. Oh, and anyway, the rest
So
of
it
going
wasn't some other girl there.
What was going on through you in your mind, Dad, when you were walking over there? Were you like, I hope she's there. I hope she, is not moving on, has moved on and found somebody else?
Now, that's funny. And I don't want to sound like, I'm bragging, but the truth is, it never crossed my
You was
mind.
all
that she
that?
was- No, it's not
You
that.
was a G. I know you was a G.
He's the G and OG.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
He's a G.
That's not why. Here's my reason why. When I broke up with Giovanna, until I saw her again, I never dated another girl. I went to Oakwood to be serious about the ministry. I was not looking for girls.
No, hold on. First of all, that whole statement you just made should have started with, hear me now. Hear me now. That was one of those statements. You know what I'm saying? I never.
I almost said it. Yeah, that's, when I start leaning forward, that's the thing that goes on in my mind. And it's not that they weren't nice girls there. It's not that girls didn't like me there.
They
But
did.
I went to Oakwood to study ministry. I'm serious. I want to focus my life on one thing. First of all, I didn't feel worthy of going to the ministry, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt like I was trying to get up to this feeling. And so I wasn't thinking about dating girls at all until from a distance, I laid eyes on Giovanna again. And I was with a friend of mine, a close friend. We were walking together. We were going to Blake Center. I went on to Carter Hall. I said to him, man, there's that girl. And I said, if I get back with that girl again, I'm going to marry her.
Wow. Oh.
Wow.
That day, I'm gonna marry that girl, and I went
Now,
to.
when you got to Carter Hall, was Mom out of breath? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not at all.
She
Not
was.
at all.
She hadn't checked in. She was standing with her suitcase. So she
Right.
hadn't even checked in yet.
Right.
Oh my
I didn't know that.
goodness.
And everything is
I took her bags to the room. Man in the hall. Carter Hall. You said man in the hall.
Yeah.
The girls were not you come out. Man in the hall. I took the bag and took her to her room. Hey, Jamal, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long
You didn't
time.
hug me.
Like a whole friend thing.
No, you didn't. You did not hug me.
Okay, we shook her. Hey,
You don't
We
remember
didn't
hugging
shake
her?
hands. We did not touch each other. There's no way we touched.
You,
We did
You would have
you
remembered
couldn't
that.
touch. You couldn't touch.
not.
That was it for me though. From that day, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
Then
have
one
a
day he decides that
No, we
he's
started going to church together then.
yeah.
Mm.
I stopped by Carter and pick her up. We go to church. Wednesday night, I stopped by Carter and pick her
Yeah.
up. We go to prayer meeting. We started hanging out together like that.
Mhm.
And then, what you want to say now? Then one day,
Then one day, this brother, I'm like, he's leaning in to get a kiss. And I'm like, I don't think so. If you kiss me, I'm your girlfriend.
Wow.
So-
That's what you said?
And hold on. Dad didn't respond. He didn't say okay. He just kissed her.
Oh. Wait.
I was
just kidding. Is that what happened?
You gotta say that again. You gotta say it again, just in case somebody missed it. Say it again.
What is that?
You said he came in to kiss you, and what did you say to him?
No,
yeah,
we're standing.
I'm leaning in.
We're standing and we're having a conversation as
No, I'm
usual.
dropping you off. I was
we-
dropping you off.
Yeah, because we had good conversations, and he's dropping me off at Carter Hall. So he's starting to lean in, like he's expecting a kiss.
And you
or
said,
something.
And you said, hold up.
I said, excuse me. Excuse me. I said, if you kiss me, I'll never forget that.
I
Honey.
want to kiss my girlfriend.
He
I
said-
went right on and got
That's
me
what I
a
said.
kiss.
He
And
didn't
you
say
went
nothing.
right in and you didn't even say nothing?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo,
OG. I'm
that's-
trying to tell you, son.
Seriously. No, that's serious OG stuff, man. That's like Denzel, man.
Right, exactly. Oh, man.
Wow. Okay, so you have people saying that they need to lie about their stories about getting together now
Yeah,
because this is
yeah.
just the story. Okay.
Sheldon said his story is whack
The
now.
story's-
Primo said he should start his story with one day I was in Paris. You know what I'm saying? You got to come up with something better now because the
Yeah.
stories are whack in comparison.
That is a great love story. Now, let's get into some nitty right now, okay? Because we hear about this great love story, how you guys came together. You broke up and then you found each other again, right? And Dad was just a G at it, and then you're married and you're going through your marriage. Do you have that disagreement that ended up coming up at some point that just stayed around for 45 years?
Yeah.
Or 44 years.
Is there something you have not been able to
Is there
outrun?
something- Right. That you can't, right.
No matter how fast you are. You know what I'm saying?
That just keeps coming up, and how do you deal with that thing that keeps coming up, or things?
And maybe we're making a bad assumption. Maybe there aren't
We
things
ju- we
like
just-
that.
we just
Maybe
know-
you get to 45 years and you're over
Right.
everything and you're good at everything in your marriage now.
Right. Because we know we have our thing,
Right.
and it hasn't gone away after
Right.
20 years.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's a big negatory. There's always something. And I tell couples when we pre-counseling, I said, look, you need to know your person, know what their and you got to decide right now you're gonna be able to live with those shortcomings.
mhm.
I said, don't get married if you say I'm gonna live. Now they may get better, but say right now, I'm gonna live with those shortcomings in that person, and then go ahead and get married. Don't expect that they're suddenly going to become a different person, because there's always going to be some things. We've had our thing, down through the years.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have to share the thing. We're
Yeah, you
not
have to
trying
share
to get you to tell us
but
what
we
the thing
just
is.
want to
Well,
know.
I share one thing that I
Okay.
think that would be helpful for everybody, and I think it's a thing that we all have, and that is for Dad and I, our arguments always end with the idea about, are you listening? It's about listening.
Yeah.
Are you listening? How many times we've said it today? You're not listening to me.
Yeah, you didn't hear me.
Oh,
You
you
didn't hear me.
still saying I didn't hear you.
That's not what I said. You didn't hear me.
I'm telling you, every single argument, we're saying those words. You're not listening. I am listening. Well,
you know what part of that is? You know what part of that is? And you're probably there for 20 years. But you get arrogant in your relationship and you think you know what the other person's thinking.
Right.
So you don't
Yep.
listen.
That's true.
True.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
That kind of
Back
thing
out.
happens.
Good. And
that kind of thing happens.
especially if they start their sentence similarly to the way that you know they're going to go with a particular argument, you start
You
finishing the
just
sentence in your own
finish it,
mind.
yeah.
You're not even letting them finish it.
And so you don't even listen.
You turn it off right away. Yeah, you say, "Here we go."
So that when you start disrespecting the other and saying, "Oh, I know what you're gonna say," and and most times we don't take the time to really listen to what the other person is saying, putting ourselves in the other person's shoes, and that is the crux of our disagreement, and still is.
Wow.
And I think it will be until Jesus comes, because Dad's very disagreeable.
No. There's really one more thing. There's one more thing that's been from the beginning, and it'll last till the Lord Jesus comes. It's not, I don't think it's as big an issue with her as it is me, and that is my wife is not good with time. She's not good with time.
You're better, but that's not what he said though.
Yeah, it's still not good though. Still not good.
Yeah,
She's
right.
better.
If 10 is good.
But Dad doesn't realize he's not good with time either. It depends on the thing. Okay? If we're supposed to be going shopping to the mall at a certain time, he's not going to be on time.
Got it. Okay.
Well, I don't want to go at all.
Okay. We both have issues with time depending on what it is we're going to do.
Wow.
So the level of importance, whatever the level of importance is for either one of you, will determine whether or not you're timely with that thing.
Yes.
However, having said that, here's another thing. Miles not good at calculating how much time things are going to take.
Right.
So she'll say, I'll be ready in 5 minutes, and she's ready 20 minutes later.
Right.
And that's regularly happens.
Listen, that is absolutely okay. So when it comes to the ministry, Dad will say, "I'm going to be in that meeting. I'll be out in 15 minutes." 2 hours later.
Yes, now that's true.
So what you're saying is we calculate time, same thing.
Now you know that is the truth. And look, Dad is denying.
Right.
Nobody wants to admit.
I'm going to prepare. I'm going to prepare a little bit. I'm going to take about 15 minutes to work on my sermon.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours later.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
Those are good points.
So are you proving that something as little as, if you just say it, it doesn't sound like a big deal, being on time in marriage can become a huge issue throughout the years that turns into, pretty heated arguments because it's marriage.
That's true. That's true.
Everything's magnified in marriage, and
Everything.
it is. And in marriage, everything the other person does is taken to heart, more than if it was a stranger or a distant person, and that magnifies it all the more, because now she's late because she don't really care about me. See, now there's the next level.
Yeah. And you don't want to go there.
When that never really entered her mind, but that's how you took that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Haven't we had that multiple
One
times?
of the things I've actually done deliberately, because I realize, I think actually I'm very good at time, in my opinion.
That's part of the problem right there.
Okay, so here's what I've done. I actually about 4 years ago, I decided to put a clock in the bathroom, because oftentimes I'd be in the bathroom, getting myself together, and I'm not really, and he's right, I'm not really, paying attention to how much time it's actually taking me to do a small thing. So I've started, about 5 years ago, looking at the clock and saying, okay, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to do that, 6 minutes to do that, 7. And it really has helped me a lot with my time. It has.
Which shows that mom cares, right? Does that show you that there's...
Well, It's not.
Yes.
It's not that I really didn't think she cared. No, just in that moment, because I'm angry, I take it there in my head.
Right.
It's not that I really don't think she cares. But I'm mad right now, so I'm taking it all the way. This is happening because you don't care.
Oh man.
Okay, so real quick, Tina Englund, one of our viewers, said, "I'm so glad you guys are sharing your story. More of our OG couples should share their stories so the young generation can see every relationship goes through something." That was kind of the idea of tonight's episode, and we kind of want to ask you a question about that. Is there any advice that you would give to young couples? We need to wrap up, by the way, because it's 9:45. We got people that go to bed early.
Well,
But
I don't know if I want to go there.
you don't want to go with the advice? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I know we're on a time thing.
We are.
But
And see, she doesn't care about time either. I'm just kidding. That was
Wow.
Anyway,
Anyway,
go ahead,
I
Ben.
won't.
I'll save my question from Tina for last, but we'll do it after this one. Go ahead.
Okay, this is not the same thing. But what do you see that young couples go through these days, like modern couples, I would say, that you feel like they shouldn't have to go through? You know, like you see some of what couples are, and you guys talk to couples, they come to you. Do you feel like, man, they don't even have to go through that, but these young couples, you know?
Is there any attitude that they have that they bring to it when they come into it that maybe
you feel is more of a
if you didn't have
modern
that attitude,
couple
that
thing?
you would never have these problems or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you even think of it like that.
Well, I'm thinking of just the opposite side of the coin. And I think couples today, especially those that we talk to, they are more open to sharing the load. They're more open to, now I don't know what happens once they get married, if they really do that.
Right.
But in the counseling, they seem to be very
partnership.
Partnership. You know, you have your career, I have my career. You know, back in the day, a women career, what's that?
Right.
So, you know, that's something that they're not fighting the way I had to fight to get my career in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not really. But
you're just talking about from a societal standpoint.
That's what I'm talking about. From a societal standpoint, back in the day when women didn't have careers, and you know, we stayed home with the children and that sort of thing. But I think the positive side of today's couples is that they seem to be more open to being respectful of the other person's career. You know, they share the load. You know, you hear so much more now about stay-home dads. You know, so I think there's a lot of good that the young couples today can show us older people.
Okay.
You know, that's really, really good.
First of all, y'all live alone. Who is that?
That's Claire. You have her.
Tell me to drink some water.
Thank you, Claire.
Hello, Claire.
So my sister is visiting in town apparently and just gave some water. She must have heard Mom's throat scratchy or something.
She's probably watching it. She's probably
I'm
online
sure.
watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Claire's very thoughtful.
You know, another thing, and I think it's related to what Giovanna just said, is that today's, I would say, minority couples have more pressure from expectations because many more of them, at least that we know, are operating and living in another element of socioeconomics. When Giovanna and I grew up, everybody we knew was below what we would call the middle scale lifestyle. We were not considered middle class. We were below middle class, socioeconomically. Now,
you were just above the poverty line, right?
No. Poor people don't have clothes to wear and they go to bed hungry every night. We were not poor.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just less than middle class.
Okay.
But when you start climbing up that ladder and you start getting into pressure professions, and you start having, that brings pressures into relationships that we did not have when we were starting out, because those social expectations weren't on us to that degree. You know, when Giovanna and I went to college, our parents could not give us one penny to help us get through college, and we didn't expect anything from them because they did not have it.
Right.
You know, she had 7 siblings, I had 4, and we were good to get through church school, but that was it. We were on after that. But today, a lot of these young couples have a lot of those pressures that come from being upwardly mobile and having careers that put pressure on you. You got to come home and you got to bring work home.
Right.
We didn't have it.
Oh, that's so true.
That's a good
wow,
point.
that is a good point.
So are you suggesting then that that people need to prepare differently for that? They need to be more aware of that. I'm sure you're not suggesting that we should go back and say, let's go back and just live on the poverty line. Or maybe you are. Maybe our relationships would be so much better. You know what I'm saying? what should couples be doing to prepare themselves for those pressures? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and from childhood, really, your parents should start getting you ready. Look for example at the expectations now that come with the visibility of Black leaders in society and in the community. When we were growing up, there was no such thing as a Black person in Senate or House of Representatives.
No way.
True.
But now the expectations are higher because there is this standard that's been set within the Black community by people who have reached a more visible leadership role. So now that gets translated to your level, especially when you're just starting out.
Yeah.
And the expectations that come with growing up in the different kind of socioeconomic class. And that puts pressure on marriages. And one I'll mention quickly, and I won't linger on it. When we were coming up, there was no such thing as a pastor's wife saying, I'm staying here because of my job. You go ahead and move to California.
Right. That's true.
And you see that a lot.
Right.
Wives didn't have careers like that. They didn't have careers like that they had to worry about. You were a nurse, you were a teacher, you just go get another job.
Yeah. You can get a job easily no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
Those pressures are different now. They're totally different.
Wow.
And as you know, I have left many a beautiful job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have.
It's true. Some real good ones.
You know what? I
forfeited retirement and all that.
Yeah.
Right. But God is taking care of us. He still is. And I had to do it again, I'd do the same.
I sure hope so. 45 years in.
I'm following this brother right here.
Almost said something else. She switched to brother.
Almost. Remember we were on live. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was a close one. Disaster averted.
So what's one of the biggest mistakes? And I know I'm going on. People say keep going.
Yeah. Well, it's your show, girl.
You know
what I'm saying?
I mean, this is some good stuff. We got to get as much as we can in. Okay. So what's one of the biggest mistakes that couples make early on in their relationship that you feel like if they could avoid those mistakes, it could actually keep them from having so many deep issues that end up coming up, later on in their marriage? So what would you say is one of the biggest mistakes that couples make at the beginning of their marriage?
Maybe even you guys made them.
Right.
Dishonesty. Dishonesty. Dishonesty.
Wow.
It's hard to regain trust.
Yes.
If you lie or, lying. Oh.
Yeah.
Or hiding.
That is hard. It's hard to get back from a dishonest deed or.
That's true. From deception. Hypocrisy.
That's
you lose trust, and it's hard to regain. But very quickly, another one is, and it's every generation. Another one is financial debt.
Wow.
Yes.
You got to have everything at one time. You just got married. You go into unnecessary debt, and that can hang over you for years.
Yes.
And bring pressures into your home that did not need to be there. If you just wait, just wait and get it little by little instead of trying to get it all at one time. That could be a big issue.
Yeah, don't do like I did one day. I was telling John and April this story the other day.
So funny.
John was 3 months old, and John and I had been married 2 years and something. And I took him for a walk in the baby carriage.
Where were we living? In Brooklyn, right?
We were living in Brooklyn, and I took him for a walk in the baby carriage, and I left home with good intentions. But here again, my husband gave me a credit card, and I believe I used the credit card to do what I did. and I was not working. John was the only one working. We were newly married, no debt really, but I was quickly, changing that.
Right.
So walking, I walked to Flatbush Avenue that has a whole lot of stores and stuff, and so I walked into the store that said it had TVs on sale, and I was like, let me just walk in here, let me just see. I walked in and I walked out with the television.
Please tell
How'd you
everyone
get it
how
home?
you got that television.
You
home.
walked.
Please tell.
I put the man in the store helped me put the TV on the carriage. In fact, as I'm walking home with John, I'm looking in all the way home, looking over the TV to see if he's okay in there. You know? And when he got home and saw that television, he was like, "What?
I'm wondering
How
how I
did
got
you
it.
get a television home?"
Now, this is back when the TV had that big tube.
The big CRT TVs. They're heavy.
This was a 19-inch big old tube TV. It was about this wide. And this thing's sitting up in the house when I get home.
How did I do that? But anyway,
How'd you get it upstairs? I mean, how'd you get? First of all, I'm trying to think of this.
We lived in an apartment, so I got.
It was a high rise with an elevator, right?
Oh, elevator.
Okay,
That's
just
right.
making sure.
She had to take it off the carriage and set it up herself. There was
That's
no
what I'm
man
saying.
help
There
her.
was no problem. That was no problem for me. None at all. None at all. But the point is, that was the start of our decline with debt. And so, fast forward 10 years down the road, and John says to me, "This is ridiculous. I'm cutting up all the credit cards." And I was like, "No." There was a big argument right there. You can't tear up my card. Da 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 da. Blah, blah. He tore them up and got us back on track, and we have never looked back. We just don't believe in credit cards. I mean,
we went years with no credit cards. Years.
Wow.
And so it's just here lately that I have one, and every time I use it, I pay everything.
Oh,
Then
that's right. Which is how you're supposed to
I
use
never
credit
pay
card.
interest. But you learn those lessons
Yeah.
early on in life, but we didn't have to go through that if we had a little knowledge. You know, we didn't have
Right.
parents to teach us about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they didn't really teach us.
They didn't know.
You know.
But before I ask the last question, which is about the advice that you would give to young couples, I want to take a couple questions from the audience, and there's one. One question is, do you consider when you don't have self-awareness that falls under dishonesty? In other words, is it only intentional dishonesty that you would say is one of those things that sort of messes with your relationship? You talked about one of the biggest things, the hardest thing to come back from is dishonesty. I guess she's saying, what if you're not aware that you're being dishonest? I think, Dad, you said something about deceptions. That sounds a little bit different.
Yeah, dishonesty. When I talk about dishonesty, I'm talking about deliberate deception. If you're not aware, you know.
You don't think that has the same impact. You don't think that has the same impact on the relationship, right?
I don't think
Negative.
so.
Right.
But now here's the other side of that, and I agree. But once you become aware, do you own up to it?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the question. That is a good
Right.
question.
Taking responsibility
Yes.
is very important.
Okay. So one more person along those lines. How do you counsel on regaining trust? How would you tell a couple they can actually
How
try
can
to
they do
regain
that?
their
Right.
trust?
Well, first of all, the person who has been the victim of it,
Okay.
the victim of it, you have to allow them time to forgive you. You have to allow them the time to grieve the loss of that thing that you've taken from them. And you've got to just own it and say, "I'm sorry for," not just "I'm sorry." I'm sorry that I so and so and so, and really every day try to make it up.
Right. And then give them time to forgive you.
Give them time, yeah. And you can't say how much time that is.
Right. That's what makes it
You
difficult
can't.
for some people.
Yeah, that
you
is
know?
hard.
Yeah.
You can't say it. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something, Dad.
Well, you got to. I'm thinking about the other side now. She's talking about the victim side, which is true. The victim has to forgive, but even if they forgive, they need time to heal. But on the other side, the guilty party has to say, "Okay, I now have to go overboard to prove I'm trustworthy again. I have to do more than what's required of me.
Right.
More than what's required of me to prove that I can be trusted again. I got to put myself on that kind of schedule, and I got to stay with that for a while too, until we can regain that trust."
So if I ever have the attitude of, "Man, you should be over it by now," that might erode the trust again.
Right.
Oh, that's a setback.
That's a setback. Definitely.
Part of the penalty
Yeah.
for your dishonesty is that you have to wait. You
Yeah.
gotta be patient.
Okay.
You got to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so
Good
then,
stuff.
so then give us that last one. The last question would be: is there a piece of advice that you would give to young couples? You guys are OG couples, been doing it for 45 years now, and
Yes.
looking back, you gave us some good nuggets on debt. You talked about dishonesty. Is there anything that you would give as a piece of advice to a young couple that you think would help them? Maybe an essential thing.
Like, yeah, essential thing that can last throughout the years that will keep them going. Keep them strong.
And this is going to sound like a cliche. Sound like a cliche, but it really, really is true. And that is develop a joint devotional life. Now, you got your own private devotional life, but you got to have a joint devotional life.
Okay.
You got to have, if not every day, at least a few times a week, where even if it's just 10 minutes, right? You spend some time in devotion and you spend some time in prayer. And our thing is, don't just pray for yourself, have a prayer list. So together we're working a prayer list. It's like a mission. It's like a joint mission now. I got my names I'm putting on because this happened. She got her name she's putting on the list because this happened. And we're joining together to pray for these people. Something happened recently, again, I know our time is up. I had a former student contact me about a year ago and say to me, please put my husband and I on your prayer list. She said, I know that you and your wife pray together. I know you pray together all the time. I know you have a prayer list. Please put my husband and I on your prayer list. Now, I don't remember how she knew we had it, but we probably talked about it sometime because she was a student of mine. We put them on our prayer list. And then what we do is when we get new people on the prayer list, we contact them. Send them an email, text, and say, we prayed for you this morning.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing about that. Not only is it a devotional life, but it's one that's focused on other people, not just focused on us.
Yeah.
It's like a ministry that we have now.
Wow.
That we're joined together in. And it's not because we're perfect, but because we care about people. So I got the people I know, some people that we know jointly, a friend of hers, a friend of mine, they're going on the list. We're making our joint interest for these people that are on our list. And we take time to go name by name. Now, our list is long now, so we don't do every name every day, but we do at least a page every day, name by name. We pray over the whole list. And the one page completely, we go name by name and call every name on that list.
Wow.
We try to keep the list short, but it always goes over 200, 250. We can't. And we try to make
No, we're at 300 right now.
The problem is once they get on, you feel guilty
But
taking them off.
we're only praying for one page at a time now.
One page.
We can't go-
Right.
But you put them on, the problem gets solved, but you still feel guilty taking them off. So you just
Right.
leave them on the list. It's too long.
But you know what the prayer list does? And this is I'm just piggybacking on what Dad has just said to give you my point that for couples, and that is that prayer list, even when we are upset with each other, even if we're arguing, that prayer list kind of brings us back together. That prayer list is kind of our central place, where we can come, or we're praying for other people. What are we fussing about? First of all, when we're fussing, it's nothing most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's things that.
You're irritable about something.
Yeah, I didn't get enough sleep the night before. Or Dad didn't get. Oh, really?
Why are you always pulling the covers off? Why are you always pulling? Every time you turn on, you pulling the covers. I don't pull the covers off for you like that. Why are you always pulling the covers off?
I'm just saying.
That's the
Stuff like
argument.
that. Before we don't get married, and you wouldn't believe we're waking up with these silly arguments. It's silly, and sometimes we just actually bust out laughing at
You
our
should.
arguments
You should.
because they're dumb.
This is one more thing about the prayer list.
Yeah.
When you get serious about it, we have a Africa section on our prayer list. The people that we know from Africa and we went to visit. We have an England section on our prayer list. People that asked us to pray for them when we visited England. We got all the names together, and Wolverhampton. We were in Wolverhampton that year. We got our Wolverhampton people. We got our Zambia people. People that asked us to pray over there, and we put them on our list, and they're still on our list.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got people on here asking to be added to the prayer list.
To the prayer list.
No, we take our prayer
I think
list
they're
seriously.
serious too.
It pulls us together.
And when we marry a couple, that couple always goes on.
Oh
What
yeah,
did they ask
they
for
stay
tonight?
on the list.
When we marry a couple, we've got a section of of students we married on our prayer list. We put them all together on the list.
Wow.
College students that we married, we did the wedding, they're all right together on the list. We just go right down those names. So, and then it becomes interesting for us because it's like a project. And then, like I say, you can send an email one day and say, we prayed for you. We called your name this morning in prayer. And again, it just brings a whole nother element into your marriage because you're doing ministry together. It's a team thing.
It really
And you're not focused on yourself as much.
You're not focused on yourself.
Yeah, it takes your mind off all those little things that, you know, you want to still be fussing about, your husband not pulling up the toilet seat,
Right.
the toothpaste is all at the bottom.
Right.
Those things still happen. Listen,
Right.
they don't go away.
Right.
But then you say, you know what?
Yeah,
That's
or you
nothing.
left one crumb
Yeah.
on the counter. There's one crumb on the counter.
I'm
The whole
back
house is clean, but I found one crumb. I took my magnifying glass. I looked at it, there's a crumb right there.
I'm still mad at him because he needs to do better with that. But we'll be okay.
You should get some lighter granite and
it'll blend in.
Yeah, and lighter wood or something like that.
I'll make a difference with her. I call her Bin Laden. She's a crumb terrorist. She's a terrorist.
A
She's a
crumb
terrorist.
terrorist.
Bin Laden, yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh man.
Well, I want to say thank you to you guys.
Yes, this is great.
Clearly on the scale of things, I owe you way more than you owe me. So there was no reason why you had to do this. So thank you for coming on. I believe, first of all, this has helped April and I tonight. And I know others have been touched and blessed. We got so many comments of people on here. That was good.
That was so good.
Let me tell you what's crazy about that kind of
looking
stuff.
back on it.
Looking back shows you how far you've come.
Yes.
It also shows you that there's something to content. When your content is solid, it doesn't really matter if, the camera's not great or if the overlays are messed up or whatever.
Mom and dad are so OG. Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
their stuff is just, you ask them a question and just like, they answer and say stuff you would never have expected.
It's like, I know. And then I'm hearing stories that I didn't know about.
Exactly, right.
And just, I can learn every time we talk to them.
Right. It's good
so,
stuff.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all, hey, listen, we love you guys.
Yes.
We'll see you again next week. We're excited about this time. Thank you for celebrating with us this 1 year anniversary. I know that's not a big deal, but to us it is. We didn't even think we'd be doing this a year ago.
And a year, it seems like a long time to do something every week for a year.
Right, exactly.
So this is pretty big.
Yeah, I think so too.
For us, at least.
Exactly. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Continue to do that. By the way, share this with somebody. Let them know to start becoming one of our chimes, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Join us on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
All right, y'all.